A long fall season comes down to one final Wednesday night. The SEL is back for week 10, the conclusion to the story that has been 2024 as well. And who better to have with me here in the booth than a feisty Taquito? Taquito, how are you feeling tonight?
Well, I rushed here because we had a little mishap happen because obviously I wasn't supposed to be here, guys. It was supposed to be Dronas. Big shout out to Dronas. I am sad that he isn't here because I very much enjoyed y'all stream last week. So being here in the booth rather than being in the chat watching is kind of weird. So I wasn't prepared for this, but I'm here anyways and I'm ready to do it.
Well, I know that we got you last minute, so let me briefly show everybody what in the world has been going on. This playoff bracket has been absurd, and I'm not sure if it's going to be ready on the production side of things. It actually is. Look at Prod
It
go.
actually
We're already off
is.
to a fiery start. So here you go, chat. This is the entire SEL Fall 24 playoffs. And Taquito, I know that you've been here for some of those games. Tell me what's your favorite story from the bracket this year.
I'll be honest, man. The George Mason upset. No offense to my boy Shaka, like for the UTK guys, but the George Mason upset into that game 5 versus Florida was a crazy timeline that I did not expect to see. And what a banger like series back to back. That was a lot of fun. And then going down to the bottom and then seeing UNC Charlotte like going. I mean, they're going the distance, and then they run into ETSU, who has been playing on fire, not just here, but everywhere else. I mean, even in another league, they were saying that they were considered they were slept on. They were considered a team that was slept on, and look at them now; they're in lower finals.
Yeah,
So
ETSU, man.
yeah, they yappers,
My
absolute
lord.
yappers.
I mean, look, that team loves to talk. Shout out Landon specifically, but
Yes,
also
sir.
they can back it up. Whenever we saw them in
Yes.
uppers, they struggled against Bama. They struggled against UNC Charlotte. I thought we were going to see them go out in like those losers semis for sure. But not only did they beat George Mason in a sweeping fashion, they got their old demons in UNC Charlotte, completely threw them out of the way. And now you get a Florida team that has easily been the hottest team of the entire bracket. I mean, they handled FIU, handled George Mason in 5, almost got reverse swept in that George Mason series. And then they did get swept by Burton Parker, but those games, Taquito, they were almost all within one goal.
That's why I'm telling you. That's why I loved last week. So this is what's mind-boggling to me as well. Like, if we look at the bracket here, look at the UNC Charlotte ETSU results. It's this. They're the inverse. ETSU won when it mattered. You know what I'm saying? Both series were a 3-1. Just flip the winners. So knowing that Florida is absolutely hungry for that get back on BPC, I've got a feeling this has got to go the distance, right? Both these teams are they want it so badly that I could only predict at least a game 6, like minimum 6 games.
Well, and this is a best of 5. And so
okay,
I have,
you know what I'm saying?
I have
best
ETSU. I have ETSU in 5. I think that they're going to shut down Florida, and I think that they are the most equipped team to handle Bruton Parker. But Taquito, I'm gonna let you throw out your prediction real quick, and then we're gonna get into this game because I know these players are itching to get out there.
I gotta agree with you. I think ETSU. I think it's their time. I think this whole fall season, they just felt slept on, so they're hungry to prove it. So I think that this feels like Florida's game to lose with the way they went through uppers, and so I don't know. I mean, I guess I really am expecting ETSU to kind of like shut the doubters up, you know?
Well, Taquito, there's only one way to find out. The semester has almost come to a close, but the true finals are here tonight. Losers finals, Florida, ETSU, game number 1 in a thrilling best of 5, and it's going to fall into the possession. It looks like ETSU first, a drift shot top left. Is already going to get the action off hot, Taquito.
That was a laser of a shot on net to kind of test that Florida defense early. But, of course, it stands tall up until you forget about pre-flipping gang Skyline dunking on top of you for goal number 1. Absolutely beautiful read there from ETSU.
We haven't seen ETSU on mainstream in a while, but one thing that I have to guess is that by the way they beat UNCC the second time around, I believe their playstyle has changed fairly massively, as I thought they were going to come out more aggressive, but Florida, a team that even if they've been knocked down, they prove time and time again that they're right back in this.
Yeah, you're never going to doubt Florida. Their winners run says everything. Their upper bracket run tells you everything you need to know about them being in this position. It feels story-wise like this is just a minor hiccup for these guys. Again, they want that get back so badly against BPC. Honestly, the absolute demons of SCL. I mean, look at the results all season long. That's a scary team to go up against.
Well, I know that if you're either one of these teams, not only do you have to be prepared to play a potential Bruton Parker, but you've also got to make sure you can handle your business here in losers finals. And we've talked about this on State of the STL. We've talked about it here. I truly do believe that it is a toss-up. With the way Florida's been playing, I would not be surprised to see them take an early lead in this series, and then that's what pushes us to a Game 5 in Florida's favor. I will say that if I see Florida fall down early, like right here, I think that the needle has to go ETSU's way.
And with the way they've started this game, it feels like that. It feels like the momentum and the pendulum are resting on the side of blue in this series. But everything in me cannot have any form of doubt against the Gators. I absolutely feel that they are entirely capable, even when the backs are against the wall, to do something like this. Where's the third? There's the shot, two off the crossbar, and they cannot seem to find the open net.
We've watched Florida be a very strong defensive team, and if they want to pick up the pace and they want to get in your grill, then they will, like Hammy Cracker's top left corner. You betcha, and we are tied a minute 30 in.
Beautiful air dribble, and just look at that. Knowing exactly when to put that extra oomph, give it all you got into that top corner. It's crazy that Landon, even stretching for it, even going up that far, couldn't pinch it out of the net. Tied up. It's a minute and a half in. We got a 1v1 play here. Hammy trying to take the 50 towards the net. Can't. Larry tried to get the cleanup. Raid tried to get that final touch in to finish the job, but now they're on the back foot in their own half trying to fend off this ETSU squad.
One of the most interesting things about this Florida roster is normally Hammy has not had to be the main guy. Normally Larry and Raid can handle the midfield, they can handle the offensive half, and they can do a very good job at creating opportunities for each other. So far in this game, Hammy has had to play a more influential role in the Florida offense, and I worry that if it comes down to him for an entire best-of-5 series, I think everything will continue to lead ETSU's way, a team that not only is competitively extremely experienced, but also a team that is balanced at a high level completely across the way. But we're almost at the halfway point of this game, and so far, it's been exactly what we predicted. We are still dead even.
There's no result you could expect going either way for these squads. That's a close shot right there. Larry gets another. It's going to be off the back wall. They're going to get a chance to look at it at least, but no attempt. Hang on. What? A drift? Did you just lose control completely?
I thought he got bumped. Skyline was waiting
No.
here. A drift just absolutely gave himself a flip reset, but off the corner, only so much he was able to do.
That's tough. That Pogo right there in the corner, too, just lost all momentum and control of the ball that they had. It was a great clear. It was the ideal clear, actually. The ball was, two members looking at the net, one of them being in the corner already. You had the ideal touch, just unfortunately lost over the possession. But get back here. Look at Skyline. Great save. A drift. No boost. You've got to have some juice in the tank if you want to shoot on the goal right there. What's going on, buddy?
Landon taking for Skyline. ETSU is still looking for a shot. Larry had to jump away and he couldn't find the save. He had to dodge the demo, and the ETSU attack eventually freed up a lane.
Adrift got the get back, all right? Adrift was like, all right, guys, my bad. I gave up one. Here we go. I got it. Thanks for the pass. Thanks for the setup. Let me tie this right back up. It has been neck and neck this entire game. We have cleared 3 minutes of regulation, and the only momentum I could give you, the only kind of positives I've seen from either of these squads is I feel like ETSU has looked better on offense. That's about the only positive note I've got.
Well, Well, ETSU have not really had to play defense. It's been a lot of very awkward situations. It's been a lot of open nets for Florida. So we haven't even seen ETSU really been put to the test yet, as it's been a mental battle between them, really themselves. And so hopefully with 90 seconds left for all the fans of that squad, you can see them kind of fix those issues. But Florida, I will say, given the situation, I think you've been kind of blessed with what you currently have, as it is still tied with a minute left. Skyline trying to fix that, though. Doozy dish over the head of one. My lord.
Okay, I gotta say respect to Hammy. The way that he set that up, trying to get the defense, he just couldn't get up high enough on the net to close that gap right there. Oh, and, well.
Okay. I mean, we have to play it out.
Right, of course. I know. I'm aware. And this kind of stinks. This is the part of playing Rocket League Online that hurts my feelings a little bit. That will be a goal. Yeah, you're down a member. You got the defense all scrambled everywhere. Dang, this was a really good game until that exact moment.
So I really don't know what happened with Larry's connection. I hope that we're going to be able to fix that, but unfortunately, it's already happened. Like, we're a minute left. We cannot stop the game. Or count it up differently. So for those of you who did not see it on main broadcast, Larry is currently not in the lobby. Florida has been left in a 2v3, and with a minute left, I'd be pretty shocked if we see this game maybe go to OT. Maybe it gives Larry time to come back, but who knows?
Hey, Gators got it in him. What do you mean? What you trying to say? You trying to say these guys don't got it like that?
2v3 against one of the best teams.
Look at that.
Okay, you know what? I'll stand corrected.
The Doubter, caught in 4K, live on the SEL stream.
Okay, let's not get too crazy now. We still got 40 seconds left. Larry could come back, though. If Larry can hurry up and reconnect, there's a really good world where Florida can bring this to overtime. But with 40 seconds left, we'll see if there's any kickoff strats that'll come out. Luckily, Raid was on the corner. Wait a minute, Hammy might just mess around. They have a one-on-one here. He almost gets it. Larry's back. So with 30 seconds left, Larry just entered the lobby again. So there actually is a fighting chance here, but Adrift wants none of that. Raid, counterattack, Landon, awkward, no boost. Hammy has a full tank. It's a double clip for Florida, but Hammy has more. Reset, corner was in sight, and all three members of ETSU have absolutely sent it on that ball, but Florida, another double commit as well. Skyline trying to find the net here. 15 seconds left. Raid off the sidewall. Hammy Cracker's putting bumps on net. He actually freed the net by himself. Lead blocker, we are tied with a disconnect.
So, I'm crazy?
Hey,
I'm crazy?
Hey, you can have that. You can have that one.
Yeah, old man knows ball, big dog. Better recognize.
Hey, a blind squirrel finds an every once in a while.
Yeah, broken croc is right twice in one day. Whatever. Come up with whatever euphemism you want to. I was right, big dog. That's all I'm gonna say. We're going to OT off of like what? Never mind. I lied. Kidding.
Yep.
Kidding.
All right.
Kidding.
Yep. Talk it now. Talk it now. Talk it now.
Yep.
Yep. And with somehow, some way, Adrift just pinches it with Hammy, and it goes top left. Because why not? Wow.
Welcome to the SEL, right?
That was one of the games of all time. That is for sure. Okay, so let's just briefly summarize this for everybody. Florida goes down 2, and then they score a goal, and then Larry comes back. They score another goal, and then it all ends with a 0-second pre-overtime pinch across half court. Taquito, what in the world?
I knew ball for like 20 seconds. That's all I know.
Yeah.
I was in there for a good 20 seconds. I was right. I felt good. And then all of a sudden ETSU had to go and shut me up.
Well, hey, I mean, look, if you're ETSU, that game should have been easier in the first place. It most definitely should have been easier. But you take what you can get. It's losers finals. It's a best of 5. Hopefully Larry's internet is going to be all right. In Florida, I think I expected them to lose this first game, but right there, I truly thought that Florida had a really good chance. So it looks like that Larry's entire PC shut off in the middle of that game. So it looks like that he's fine now. And so we're going to go into game 2 with no hesitations. So losers finals, we still carry on. Florida down 1-0.
Now my question is, how is it that we get to the point that we got there? Got at the end of that game. Like, how do you know to set that up, right? How do you know to just go, just send it at 0 seconds? Is that just what it's like to be in these lobbies and at that skill level? You just like, whatever. If it works, it works. Let's go for it.
Well, I mean, there was no risk for Adrift, and ETSU haven't really played with any regard for risk at all because they are aware that I think on paper they are the better team. So Adrift going for that ball is similar to how ETSU should continue to play this series, is that they know they can just simply go like Landon here, backboard, double tap was almost found, the net is open, but they're not going to find it just yet. But back to the main point if Ray can actually get to that ball first. But yeah, no, I mean, Adrift had nothing to lose going for that ball, and Hammy unfortunately had to make a touch, and he couldn't get there, and this one he's got to get to. But he gets away with that one. Here comes Adrift trying to keep possession. It's bumps galore in the blue half.
It's going to have to be. That's a great pass. Landon couldn't get in front of it in time. Double off the back wall right there, trying to keep the ball alive in front of the net. Skyline hunting for an opportunity. Oh, Adrift, you got to have some boost, homie. You got to have some boost to stop yourself or anything right there. But all your momentum carrying forward, you had to go for it. You had to try to guess where Hammy was going to go, and all Hammy had to do was fake it out. 1-0 to the side of Florida.
All right, well, Florida gets the early lead. I think that was much needed after a very tilting situation in game one. But one thing that Larry mentioned, I don't know if he mentioned it exactly on the podcast yesterday, but Larry did say that this team mentally is a very, very strong contender. Larry truly believes that this team could have dealt with or gone through anything in this series, and they were still going to be just fine. And even in that Bruton Parker sweep, he said that they really just felt like it was mechanics that they struggled with against Bruton Parker. They said mentally they felt like they were right there with them. And against an ETSU team that I think can be just as annoying at times, you know, it's good that they can still sit here and kind of just deal with what the game throws at them. And so far, they've already chewed off a minute 30, and they are still up. They're going to try and make it 2-0 here, but for now, they'll stay consistent.
Ooh, Hammy. I like the shadow there. Maybe if it was me, I probably would have bid on the challenge, but that was a good way to just kind of stop and try to 50 that opportunity out. And again, we compliment the Florida defense a lot. And you mentioned that if Hammy works by himself to carry the team, that Florida kind of struggles. But I don't think that even through that first game, that it felt like Hammy was doing all the work. Like you mentioned, he had to do it early on, but even in the second one here, that flick is great, but the crossbar is going to deny the shot. Looking for the double off the back wall, won't be able to find it. Unfortunate. These attacking opportunities, I feel like that's where Florida is falling short, unfortunately. The attacking opportunities, they're not being able to nail them down.
And the counter is where ETSU fails as well. One thing that we've criticized about this team all year is the fact that they either A, have never found their rhythm when it mattered, trying to find those early upsets early in this season, or they just simply have looked discombobulated by themselves. I know Landon is probably on single-digit hours past 2. I know that Adrift has been a long-standing member of the competitive scene, but I don't believe he's been on high hours. I think the only player that I can truly depend on with this ETSU team is Skyline, and even Skyline has had his moments so far. And so once again, I mean, this series just continues to deliver. It continues to be a mess. And right here, all three members of Florida commit. Skyline top ends, and it will go in off of a Florida player. I believe it was Hammy.
Yeah, I mean, like you said, everybody so awkward there, and Hammy getting bumped on that wall. There's just nothing you can do. Defense is completely spread apart. It's going to be tough. Panic options galore. Florida was probably not going to be able to defend that any better than they did. Will be a tight game. We've actually gone much longer in this game number 2 than in game number 1 to get the tie. So we're seeing a little something here, some adaptation happening, and I feel, again, I feel like it's just, like you said, ETSU isn't good on the counter, but it feels like they're just so much more threatening on offense than Florida has been through these past 2 games.
ETSU, a team that's never been in a rush on defense. Skyline waiting patiently in his own net. Landon trying to play off that corner, very slow and methodical. And Adrift, same thing here. ETSU, I think they've realized that they've kind of made themselves awkward many times against this Florida team, especially after the multiple bump plays in the 2v3, which they almost completely sold. And so them trying to fix those issues, I think it's going to be critical to them not only finding success in this game, but maybe even finding us in a potential sweep situation. For Florida, they keep finding these chances right here, but they've got to get the ball middle, and they've got to get a demo or a bump like they did in game 1.
It almost feels like Florida's attempts and attacks at the net are just, they're too telegraphed, right? They feel like like everybody knows the pass is coming. Everybody knows this play is happening. I don't feel like they leave themselves open too much space open for creativity when approaching this ETSU defense. ETSU, kind of a similar deal. They're just headstrong at the net. They're throwing everything in the kitchen sink towards the Florida net, and they're plussing off the opportunity because they're breaking open the defense. I guess that's kind of what I want to see more from the Gators. I want to see them create a little more opportunities than they have for themselves. This right here should be a goal. The unnecessary demo, I understand Larry was trying to get back, but see, like they throw constant barrages of offense towards the net, and it just works.
I mean, that right there, 2 players get bumped away. I mean, that is a huge play that was made in front of the net, and then Larry just got body blocked by, I believe it was a drift. And so, unfortunately for Florida, you got to hit the drawing board, and you got to hit it quickly here. Hammy going to look off the ceiling, possibly back to himself, but Landon having none of that, but that's what Hammy wanted. Gets a free possession, looks to flick over a player. A drift is by himself. Larry down to Raid, right there in the middle of the net. Hammy trying to get off a drift, and now here comes Landon trying to make sure he ends it, looking for the double for good measure. And ETSU, that right there was the best opportunity we've seen Florida get all game, and what a pre-jump.
Literally. That's exactly where my mind went, is how did you pre-jump and know just a float right there in that moment to block that shot? Like, you just knew. It's telegraphed. I'm telling you, they just know what Florida is going for. It's almost like it's just obvious. So if you can mix up the approach even in the slightest, it'll be perfect. Like, I feel like you'll plus on so many more opportunities that you get.
Yeah, and you didn't get the chance to see the stats because for some reason one of our overlays was a little broken, but I can telegraph this. So Skyline scored 430 points that game, easily leading the way, easily the person who needs to play the best on the CTSU roster. But the supporting cast, I mean, Adrift, Landon, the bumps, the passing, the shots, like Adrift went 0 for 5, but those 5 shots, I mean, Florida did not look very comfortable on defense. Now, granted, in that last minute, they did have some great saves that almost led to that final 0-second opportunity once again. Well, it would have been opposite from game 1 if Florida found it that time. But for Florida, it's been such a messy start. They didn't start this series conservative, and now you're at the point where you're down 0-2, and now you don't get to be conservative anymore. So they have got to pick it up. They have got to start winning these 50s. They've got to start winning these challenges, and your backs are officially against the wall.
What's got to change, TJ? Like, the one glaring thing, like, what needs to be fixed from Florida here in this game? If you could just tap into the playbook for one piece of advice, what you got?
I mean, for Florida, honestly, game 1, I think, was just a really unfortunate showing. They outplayed ETSU, in my opinion, but it just happened to be the fact that they lost Larry early. And then in game 2, they had the advantage, but then they stacked up in a misrotation. And so we've talked about this so many times. Whenever you want to be the best in the SEL, those minute, fundamental things about your rotation, about your positioning on the field, and about your team communication, those things right there is what wins games. It's why Bruton Parker has been unbeatable, and it's why Hammy Crackers can simply mechanically outplay 3 orange defenders.
We're just going to take a second to look at this one more time. Let's just go like 3 people. And he just says, "Hey, Larry, you want to grab this for me?" 3 people. Well, yeah, I know of course he had to. Like, I mean, that's obviously how the play was set up. But like, it was just a tap-in, literal tap-in specialist.
Well, how about Hammy looking for another one in Florida? Once again, taking an early lead. And last game was extremely close. And Florida, they would have liked to have this second goal last game, but they get it early this time.
This is the first time we've seen Florida with a 2-goal lead, right?
I believe that is true. Yes.
Yes. Okay. So, with that being said, they've got to hold on to it. They haven't had a big lead this entire series so far. You built yourself the smallest definition of a cushion.
No.
And then this happens.
Yeah, I think this is about the nicest way you can put this play, because I genuinely don't know what in the pinball I just watched. But Larry own goal. Once again, Florida's positioning in their rotations, they have got to be careful. This second man keeps just finding himself right in the middle of a clear.
And maybe it's a calm line. Maybe it's Actually, I don't know. Maybe it's just how the cookie crumbles at this point. That was a good demo from Landon.
What?
Oh my. True Raid, where'd you even come from? I didn't even see you. You just jumped right over Larry and was like, yeah, screw it, I'm sending it.
I mean, Florida having a very Bruton Parker-esque moment right there, just appearing in front of the net and almost finding the last demo or last shot or touch to make it happen. And now ETSU kind of was put in an awkward spot by it, but here comes the counter, and they already have to kind of get this deficit and probably get out of the way quicker. ETSU, I think, in the last opportunities in both these games, these very last-second goals, I don't want to call a team lucky. I never want to call a team lucky because that indicates they're not skillful, but I do think that in game one, they got to be thanking their lucky stars, and now that they're down in this game, especially early, got to get it moving a little quicker because now here comes Florida. That's another ETSU triple commit, basically. And now Larry has a net to shoot at. It's a great save from Skyline. Now Ray looks for the opposite corner, but he cannot find it. Now Adrift on the counter. Takes a touch over one, has a reset, looks to beat a player, but here comes once again ETSU all over each other.
That was a great setup on the counter. I kind of wish that we'd seen somebody use the flip reset, maybe try to get back down or get to the ball for a 50 or something. That was a great bump from Landon midair. Good touch here, 50 from Skyline, followed by a Drift who doesn't get the touch they need. Defense is still scrambling on the side of the Gators, though. This is what the ETSU squad, I guess, is the best at, is scrambling this defense completely. No follow from the third right there. ETSU blowing that open net opportunity wide open.
ETSU, though, they still are in the blue half, so you got to take what you can here. 2 minutes left. Drift is going to look to maybe push something towards net. In Florida, they got to be careful of these commits. Another double jump was at least avoided for now, as Larry is able to stay on by himself and also maybe find maybe a greater play. And Adrift almost beats Raid as well, but Florida defense is still holding strong. But here comes Skyline, who does get a dunk, but it's another double commit that I think Landon's going to try and take at least some sort of positives out of. And now Adrift's going to look back over towards Landon. Landon back towards the net, but it's off again. Skyline shot on net again. Florida survives with 90 seconds left.
That was a great sequence for Florida. Look at this. Again, you talk about thanking lucky stars. Literally, Florida better start thanking them right now. They have missed 2 crucial open net opportunities on the side of ETSU to at least tie this up. So much precious time has been knocked off the clock right now in favor of ETSU. They needed it. And for whatever reason, they have been unable to produce the same results we've seen in the first 2 games of this series.
I mean, it's survival of the fittest. Florida has simply won the boost battle in their own half. The force player is off, and now Handy's got to be careful. Landon's on him and finds the demo, and once again, ETSU, I mean, this is just pinched right off of Raid's forehead, and unfortunately for Florida, they just keep on getting the worst possible scenarios, and we're tied again with under a minute to go.
It's insane to me that we see moments like this break down constantly. Here's another one. Skyline just needs the double. Misses the angle wide. Can we find one more? No. True Raid is backwards. Opens themselves up for a 50. Adrift is going to have to take possession here. Could be a crucial moment for ETSU. Almost overrun one, but True Raid is able to at least defend it for the time being. But this is going to be a very important 30 seconds here for Florida.
Drift looking to get off the ceiling back to himself. Raid is awkward. Raid is on the pole of the net. He's just sideways on it. I'm not sure what happened here. He was looking to rotate and then just ran right into it. And Adrift, I mean, that's as free as it gets.
This is, again, I don't, like you said, I don't want to call it lucky. And you're right, we shouldn't call it lucky. Adrift gets a good touch to the side right there. Raid here needs possession. Can we find another good one? No. Larry gets a touch. Hammy has got to line it up. That's a weak shot towards the net. It's cleared wide. True Raid has one more chance. Hammy needed the touch. Leaves it for Larry. Shot is deflected. Ball is down. That is the series. Clean sweep over to ETSU.
Clean is a very, very nice word to use. That was about as gritty
polite.
as a playoff series could be.
I'm being polite.
That was most definitely one of the grittiest playoff series I think we have ever seen And I hate it for Florida. Taquito, I feel like
Same.
we blinked and then they lost 0-3.
Yes. Yes. 100%. That is it is baffling to me that we just watched three one game three one
One goal.
game or one goal games. Thank you. Yeah, sorry. Brain's not working right now because I'm fried from the fact that Florida couldn't do it. Game one felt like Florida's until Larry dropped. Game two, I'll be honest, it felt a little bit more ETSU favored. Game three, Florida, you had it in the bag. You had game three all to yourself, and it just dissolved in seconds.
I'm just very, very confused as to what we witnessed. Game one was a mess in itself. Larry's PC dying, that is
Yeah,
extremely, extremely unfortunate. And I hate that it happened for him. But Florida, they should have gone to OT. That there is
agreed.
absolutely no doubt in my mind that they deserve to go to OT. And then they get a cross map pinch. Game two, two players get bumped in a line and they lose in the last 50 seconds. And then here we
Yes.
go into game three, and they get a full field pinch off of Raids Fennec, and that cost them the series. I mean, for Florida, they played good, but I genuinely think it was a little bit of shell shock. These opportunities, they just happened. And unfortunately, that's how the game goes sometimes. And for Florida, I don't even think we truly got to see what they were capable of because they lost all three games in such, I'm just going to say, awful fashion.
Yes. Yeah. Like I said, I was trying to be polite. The clean sweep is just for the statistics. It's a 3-0. Unless you watch the game, unless you watch the games or you go back and actually look at the results, the 3-0 tells you what you need to know, but it doesn't tell you the story. And disheartening. Like just straight up heartbreak on the side of the Gators is just the best way to describe that entire series. And it's still amazing that in a 2v3 setting, they almost won game one. In a 2v3 setting, they were able to literally completely shut down the offense. And they countered at least once. Larry came back in the most crucial moment, tied it up, and then the rest of the series felt like it never lived up to the hype of game one.
We deserve more, that's for sure. Let's throw up the bracket one more time if production's ready, because I do want to very, very quickly, before we hop into break, I want to go ahead and showcase what's up next. So obviously, losers finals just happened. You're going to see that match get reported as a 3-0, obviously. That is what we just watched. So that means that ETSU is going to have to hop up into grand finals against Bruton Parker, a team that has dropped, surprisingly, 3 games in 3 series, mainly due to some mess of the action that happened in the first round where they almost got they almost got swept by USC and then had to reverse sweep them. And so for Bruton Parker, a team that has looked beatable by teams much worse than ETSU. So I'm not sure what Bruton Parker's regiment has looked like in terms of getting ready for this match, but I'm very excited to see what happens, Taquito.
I'm gonna stick to what I said earlier. I think that ETSU has a lot to prove, and they're doing it. They've been hungry through multiple leagues, and again, they felt like they've been constantly slept on. And we said that at the top of the broadcast. We both agreed that this team is playing with a fire underneath them that, I mean, I don't think anybody else has or can even hold a candle to. So Florida had to lock it down. They had a great upper bracket run, but they couldn't stop ETSU. They couldn't stop the run. So if we can see the same level of play and the same level of consistency moving into BPC in this grand final match coming up, I'd be kind of worried because like you said, like we also there could be a potential reset. BPC is a tall mountain to climb. It's a very good team, but ETSU have proved time and time again you don't sleep on them. Plain and simple. So
Well,
we both you and I picked them to win the series at the beginning of the game. So
yeah. I mean, but we never truly know what to expect ever. But
exactly.
I do have good news. We will get to see the conclusion of the entire fall season, those final points, all of it matters, and we finally get to see a Bruton Parker team with no restrictions in a grand final to become SEL champions. But ETSU wants absolutely none of that, and that storyline and a lot more will come to your screens very shortly. We are 20 minutes out from SEL grand finals. Don't go anywhere. bro. Bro,
Shaka instantly
that
on it.
series sucked.
That was bad.
Well, I need Gaming Oasis Prod to kick everybody out. But yeah, I got you. Did you have
Here,
to leave?
I'll just leave and start a new party.
Yes, so that means you're not gonna be able to be in the next lobby either. Okay.
There you go, TJ. I got you on an invite.
Well, we still have to join. It doesn't matter. We're
I'll
still
just
gonna have to
invite-
join Prod.
I'll just invite Prod back to the game and make him party leader.
Man, he can just kick everybody out. It's not my problem.
We're not muted, by the way.
Huh?
We're not muted.
Well, chat, hopefully y'all are doing good. Our production man is not on the computer right now. So instead you get extra analysis from us, I guess. I did mean what I said. That series did suck. That did hurt. That was a tough one.
I guess it's because again, like Florida didn't give us a series.
I mean, well, I guess you get the extra analysis even though production is not on their computer right now. Yeah, I mean, let's just be blunt during the break here. If I'm a player, I'd be furious. That series
Agreed.
hurt. That game 1 losing off the full field pinch, that was crazy.
Again, they controlled it, and then ETSU did what they do, and they snowballed the series. They have done that.
Losers finals have come and went, and that leaves us with just one series left for tonight. I am your host, DJ TJ, for one final week of the SEL, and with me for his final time on the SEL for this season at least. Who knows what's in the future for you? But welcome to Keto. We saw that first series go through. How you feeling going into this one?
ETSU's going to have to do it again. They're going to have to try to do it again. And they're going to have to do it one more time after that. Because if they do manage to win this series, there is a possibility for a reset, if I'm not mistaken. So
Yep.
That's a long night here for the Bucks. But BPC is not going to be an opponent that goes down easy whatsoever. They may be a giant, but sometimes giants fall hard.
I mean, who knows, right? I mean, Bruton Parker, I will say, they have kind of been put on a fairly easy path other than UNC Charlotte, who they did drop a game to. And then they also almost got swept by USC way, way early, almost a month ago. So Bruton Parker since then have been a completely different team, both in CRL and in the SEL, and also in NECC. This team has been on an absolute tear. I know most recently, I think they played Concord tonight. So I think that they are the absolute most warmed up that they can physically be going into this one. So Taquito, I don't want to waste everyone's time. So let's take a look at bracket, and then let's talk predictions. So we'll throw up bracket, and you can see the run that I was referring to. Florida had a great run in uppers, had a fun time in losers, but it was just a little too good to be true. 0-3 in winners finals, 0-3 in losers finals.
And it's, I guess, like we already talked about it enough. It stinks to see it. But again, both of us had a strong feeling about ETSU moving into the final round, and we were both right. Like, we both had it down pat. We knew that ETSU was going to prove something. They've got themselves here in the grand finals. It's now going to be probably the hardest match that they have played this entire SEL bracket, I'd have to assume, right?
It will be, without a doubt. I mean, no team in this entire league is like Bruton Parker. And the only other team that I think could have held a candle to their way was UTK. And we lost UTK very early in this bracket. And so I worry for ETSU that you truly have not gotten a taste of the absolute top 20 level of Collegiate Rocket League, at least in their upsets that I have not seen them have either in CCS or in CRL quals. And so I hope that they've been scrimming at that level, or at least been attempting to get up there into the top 32 range, because you're going to need to be prepared. But so Taquito, give me this. Give me your predictions, and then I think we're going to be ready to get this thing moving.
I so badly want to get a full series at this point, but if I'm going based off knowledge and what I feel, BPC is going to take this series. I'm going to be hopeful and say 6.
Ooh, and 6.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're better than me. On State of the SEL last night, I said Bruton Parker in 5, and that's being nice. So I will say that coming into this, I would love to see a full best of 7. And obviously, there's no bias on the desk, but we are both going to be picking Bruton Parker. I'm going to have them in 5. You're going to have them in 6. And I believe that both sides of the pitch are finally ready to go. The entire fall, almost 4 months of gameplay, all come down to this one final series. ETSU have found an insane amount of points this season, but Bruton Parker is trying to show everybody the storyline they tried to write last season, that they are not only the best, but the best of the entire region.
And that's, I guess it's, at what point do you have to say that they haven't really done much to prove it? They've ran through their bracket. They've dropped 3 games total, right? Woo. That's pretty much been their run. That's a good challenge and a good beat right on the goal line as a drift for ETSU is going to start us off here in game number 1.
I mean, how about Landon on the single-digit hours past 2, and he's already almost hitting that perfectly top bends? That's exactly what ETSU needs. They are going to have to mechanically and mentally keep up with a team like Bruton Parker.
What is T-Han talking about in the chat? What do you mean, Bruton Parker lose Series 1 just to have a sweep? Come on. No way, right?
Crazier things have happened. I mean, bracket reset is at play. So for Bruton Parker, if you do manage to lose this series in some capacity, then, you know, they do get that second chance. And I will say, I'd be shocked to see it. But once again, this stream has always provided some pretty crazy nights. We could be here for an hour or two. But I know Bruton Parker, they've had a long day of games in multiple leagues. They're ready to go. ETSU, they would love to just go 4-0, 4-0, but we can sit here and speculate all you want. ETSU up 1-0 a minute in.
And that's exactly it. They've got the lead, and that's all they got to do. They need to just hold it. They've got a long game ahead of them. It was in the first minute they scored, and they've been able to at least keep the ball away from their half and challenge this BPC squad. Maybe score a second. That's a great defensive block there from Antics, but you got to get the ball out of your half if you want to feel less threat.
See ETSU keep trying to survive from the Bruton Parker attack. Here comes Milk, one of the really best attackers and most aggressive players in this entire league without a shred of doubt. Normally, he's the one off the ball making plays happen for Mantix and Annie to find some space. Like right here, this net is just going to completely open up. I didn't see who the third man was, but very odd boost over ball commit right here.
Well, isn't that the number one rule? Isn't that what we learned? It's always boost over ball, right?
Yeah, maybe down in your ranks, Tito.
Oh, GC, what do you mean? What is this? I finally made it up there. Come on, man. Don't do that to me.
No, I mean, I will say that I'm shocked to see a player like Adrift, somebody with years and years and years of not only high-level experience, but competitive LAN experience as well. That's a rough play to make in a grand final, but I will say it is game one. It is the time to try new things, and you are going to have to be very aggressive and very on point at all times to beat this Bruton Parker roster. But also, Bruton Parker have not looked like their former selves as they're going to allow a second goal.
That is wild. Again, defense is getting spread all over the place. It's just immaculate plays by both teams.
All right, well, 3 minutes left. See things continue on. Bruton Parker, I do think that if there is a game for ETSU to show to everybody what they're made of, it's got to be here and now.
Up by 2 now. Okay, Bepic, you are still champ 2. Get out of town. What do you mean?
Okay, wow. We're arguing in chat. We got a series to worry about here.
Hey, okay, look, I'm trying to defend my honor here, all right?
I will say I'm very happy to see the chat is having as much fun as we are because, again, we could be here. Y'all better strap in and grab your popcorn while you can because, again, if a bracket reset happens, we could be here for 2 hours. We most definitely could, especially after the 30-minute series that we kicked the night off with. A lot could happen. But I know Bruton Parker, they want to find a second goal and to bring this series just a step closer. And as we hit the halfway point, it's 2-3.
And that's a good get back right now. Get us right back into it. BPC locking in, getting that goal from the mid. Again, wide open net, great shot from Bruton Parker. You still down by 1. You still let ETSU put themselves in a cushioned position. They've allowed themselves the opportunity to at least, they can afford some mistakes, not very many in this game, number one. And I like that they're capitalizing every bit on this opportunity.
Comes Bruton Parker off the backboard. Milk going to try and fake out one. That he will. He's going to look to pass to a teammate, but Manny cannot find that shot. Now Skyline faking off the corner. Antics did pre-jump, but he didn't waste a single bit of boost. So he forces Skyline to waste a lot of his chance, and Skyline with no boost can't beat a player. Now Milk's going to get the pinch right side. Adrift is going to hit it right to Antics. Did not see him. Now Antics looking to beat a player out, but that's a great dunk from Landon. See Manny try and reset the Bruton Parker offense here. Fakes out one, finds a second, looks for the one-on-one versus Landon. He beats him, top left. Oh. Manny will tap it in. 1, 2, 3, count him up.
What a touch, too. What placement right there, top corner. Just glides right in there, nestles down. Even if it was going to bounce out slightly, he still had the second touch on the cleanup. BPC tie us up with less than 2 to go. And now ETSU, that cushion you so wonderfully built is gone. You've got to step it up and at least knock one more down. No more mistakes to be afforded to you guys here in this game 1.
So now here we go. ETSU had a insane start, a great lead, but how long will it last as Manny was not able to find that touch, but didn't need to, but Adrift finds a double off the ceiling. Milk has to be the one to come in and make that final saving touch, but 60 seconds left just about. Landon looking to try and put ETSU back up and give them a cushion to actually kind of work with as they haven't had anything since they found those first few goals.
They got a lot of offense built up right now, but it finally dissipates. Antics with the ground game right there. Getting past 2. Just needs the third to beat. And he does. Sliced and diced every single ETSU player in that moment.
Did a full routine and stuck the landing at the end there. Antics just making it look way too easy, and now with 60 seconds left, Bruton Parker, what is that, 3 straight, 4 straight?
3.
3 straight.
Yeah, 3 straight. That's insane. They got the 2, right? ETSU did go up by 1, and since then, it's just been... All right, so they went up by 2, and then that was it. It's just been 3 straight.
Oh,
Count it
no.
4. Hey, look,
Oh,
we've got lessons in basic counting right now. 1, 2, 3, 4.
I mean, and for ETSU, it truly does feel like first grade at this point. You've got to completely reset. You've got to find the square peg, not in the round hole, as that's what defense has looked and felt like from at least our side of things, as they cannot find any sort of grasp on this absolute decline, this fall, this rough fall it is that they are stuck on, and they can at least maybe find some last bit of momentum here. Maybe game 1, you chalk it up. It is a best of 7, so you have plenty of room to learn and to find some more opportunities. But for Bruton Parker, it goes the other way around. For them, it's about keeping their foot on the gas, and they've shown that throughout this league the entire year, and even last year with a not full roster where they had to play with either Agni or Sino, they still proved to everybody just how kind of aggressive they can be whenever they're trying to put the pressure on, and this series looks like it's going to be no different so far.
Well, the beginning looked a lot different, but they proved us completely wrong as they now look to, okay, 1 goal lead. It's a 1-goal game. All right, you got to make it look good for the stats.
You take what you can get. I've said that all playoffs. You've got to take every sliver of momentum, every good 50, every beat, and you've just got to work with it. So for ETSU, a very tough loss there after having a 2-goal lead, especially when you got a 5-4 game 1, but ETSU, they're used to that. We watched a 5-6 game 1 in the last series, and so hopefully, just like last series, we see teams settle down, we see some more peak Rocket League, and it is a best of 7. So again, ETSU, it's not the end-all be-all.
Nah, not at all, man. They started that game good. I have a feeling they can at least give us something game number 2. I want them to try to hold the lead this next time. Like, do it a little bit better. They kind of broke down right there in that last 2 minutes after they scored those 3 goals in a row. So maybe it's just the Bruton Parker effect on ETSU right now. But I'm still hopeful. We get to the 6 games. I think they can do it. I think the Bucks can push this team to the distance. But that wasn't the best showing there in game number 1.
I'm more worried about can they even find the lead in the first place. Whenever you're trying to be the upset
team. They found
it
in game 1.
Whenever you're trying to be the upset team, game 1 is where you're going to find that lead. So I agree with you there, but now you get a Bruton Parker who got their warm-up game and got a win out of it. I don't know if I like ETSU's odds, but I'd love to be proven wrong here in game 2.
We're being reminded, by the way, that mics are still hot. So just watch what you say, bud.
I mean, I would hope that we're still hot because Milk is about to turn the temperature up. 10 seconds in, way too easy. Manny was able to just simply tap it over, and nobody was there. So once again, ETSU struggling.
It's the momentum. This is definitely a momentum-based series, and it's slowly starting to snowball for the side of the Bucks. But I'm gonna have that faith, brother. I want this team to prove something. I want ETSU to prove to all of us that they absolutely can do it. So I've seen them play all series long. They're a great team. Just one more hurdle. The SEL Grand Finals, final hurdle, right?
Well, we're talking about a bracket reset, too. So for ETSU, you've got to have the mental fortitude to not only find a comeback in this series, but also, which it is only game 1, or game 2. So you got to find the comeback and get things evened up, but then you got to make sure that you can handle the rest of the action. And how about Skyline at the top of the bends? And the Drift will be the one to tap it in, but my lord, that right there is what ETSU's got to do.
They got robbed in game number 1, man. They got robbed one time, and it got countered on them. They finally get that one here in game number 2. Got to see more than that. Got to see more than that. And I'm more of that. Excuse me, not more than that. More of that, of those team plays. That's what I like to see.
See Landon tap this ball middle, looking for a teammate, but a drift we met by Antics. Now Milk, not a lot of boost to work with, but Skyline can't follow, so Manny gets a free touch, is able to work past one, but this double commit from ETSU is going to open up the pitch for Antics to maybe even find something towards Manny, who finds a bump on a player. Luckily, Landon was there, but here comes Antics, looking for a teammate middle. Nobody going to answer the call, so Manny's up next, looking for a similar style of play. It's going to fall to ETSU once again.
It's going to be a tough play out of the corner, but numbers are ETSU's friend in this moment. They've got a lot more people hanging out in the blue. They're able to at least defend the beginning of this attack. Antics with an insane pinch off the sidewall there. They're going to have a chance to push downfield. They've got numbers, again, on their side here, but you've got to control the ball adrift. That's a good challenge. Landon just needs to clean it up, and he does. Amazing transition off of defense right there from ETSU.
Once again, Adrift doing a great job of getting out in front, finding a player, and just simply throwing him out of the way. Skyline doing the exact same thing as well. And hey, if you can take out 2 Bruton Parker players, I like ETSU's odds. But here we go again. 3 minutes left. ETSU finds another lead in this series. Can they hold on to it?
That's the plan, man. That is the plan. They did it in game 1, and I feel like, again, it just slipped away from them in that last moment, and they've done it again. We have another 2-goal lead for the Bucks. Come on, guys. Hold it in. Make this a series. Come on, man.
Hey, I'm here for it. I am absolutely here for it. 3 minutes left. Still a lot of Rocket League left to be played, but ETSU are really starting to find their shots here. Really starting to find their looks. And if they're already doing it in game 2, I like the odds of us seeing more than 4 games. And especially if they can at least grab this one, I would even say I like our odds at 6. But that's a conversation for another time. We'll see Landon try and make that conversation happen a little sooner as he looks to dribble over Milk, but a little too heavy of a touch. And now Milk's got a counter up and over. How about up and under Skyline? And he will stay alive on that back line.
Okay, look, again, we don't like to call it lucky or anything, but right now, I feel like ETSU did get a little lucky on that save at the net, but the transition doesn't lie. The skill is all there. They go up by another one.
3 goals here halfway through game 2. A dream scenario for ETSU.
Man. Are we living in a fever dream right now? Is this what this is?
No, this is the SCL.
Okay, just making sure. Hey, I was going to say pinch me if I'm dreaming. I know I'm not. I know what we're witnessing here. This is amazing to see, but there's still so much time. And Bruton Parker is a team that you can't give that space or that time to. You've got to continue to shut them down. ETSU's been doing a great job. That double commit, though, it's not what you want to see, apparently, even though it wasn't threatening.
See Skyline try and keep ETSU in the blue half, and that he will! Skyline off the ceiling, and he's going to show you what's in his tag.
Right in front of Antics. He just made Antics put it in. That's literally what it was. A handoff and said, hey, Antics, go ahead and put me up by 4.
2 minutes left, and ETSU continues to defy the predictions, and that one might just be a 6th! A drift! Top left, perfectly placed!
Okay. All right, at this point, what do we talk about? What happened to Bruton Parker after game 1? Let's just be honest, dude. What happened?
The antics, just try and get something going for Bruton Parker. I don't think we have any answers for what's been happening really the entire season, and I'm glad that the grand finals are off to a start that makes us really feel like that we're all living in a simulation. And Bruton Parker, I'm sure they've got to be feeling like they're in one as well. In the very first series, well, hold that thought.
Yeah,
the antics dog walk this one in, make it 6-2. I was going to say that in the first series that ETSU and Bruton Parker played, the only other time they have played each other in this entire season, it was a Bruton Parker 3-0, and the scores were absurd, Taquito. 7-1, 5-2, 6-2. Those were the scores. So this right here, complete opposite, and it's in ETSU's favor. I like their chances. They've got to stay alive, though. Antics off the top, bends. Mandy up next, and he finds the angle. How about Milk clears out a lane, and they'll score 2 back-to-back.
That is... Again, we're starting to break down. That's 2 in a row. Don't let them get 3. Don't let it happen. ETSU, come on, man. Y'all were so far in the lead. You're still so far in the lead. You're up by double the amount of goals. You have such a massive gap right here. Please lock it in, and please win this game number 2.
Manny going to try and bump a player out. Skyline will stay alive for the time being. Milk's going to try and pass one down. Manny is there looking bottom corner, and he will find it. Bruton Parker, slowly but surely, with just under 90 seconds left, they score 3.
Nah, I'm not losing faith. No. They've got game 2.
I don't want to either.
ETSU is going to win this game. They are going to win this game. They're going to prove all of us wrong. I'm still riding it. I have been an ETSU fan through 2 different leagues in both of these series, especially in another collegiate series. They can prove it, man. I know they've got it in them to do this, and I want to see the upset happen.
I mean, look, Bruton Parker, a minute left here. Got to make something happen. ETSU have done the really great job of scoring 6 against a Bruton Parker team that has never given up anything near that this year. And we'll see if they can hold on to it. 50 seconds left. They're looking like they might even find a 7, but for now, we won't see it. Bruton Parker's got to start moving a little bit quicker. They're getting stuck in their own defensive half. Antics now looking down towards Milk, but that pass just a little too far in front. Skyline by himself, but not contested. Gonna hit it over to Manny, though. Manny's got a double. Manny towards the net. It will be a fake. Milk towards the net instead. And Antics did clear a lane, but it wasn't wide enough.
I actually think the back wall bump right there to try to delete the defender helped Skyline block that shot. I'm almost positive that's what happened. So, I mean, literally BPC just thwarted their own attack.
Milk is going to miss that one as well, and I thought Bruton Parker could have at least had something going there, but just like that, ETSU will finally get one last dunk and a 7th goal, and Taquito, it was a little concerning, but they will find game 2.
There's no way, right? There's just literally no way.
Oh, no, it's impossible. It is physically impossible.
Okay, thank you. Like, okay, this is it. This is what starts the rest of the series and the potential reset right here. No matter what the stats say, again, being able to put a dent in the armor of BPC through this entire SEL bracket is an achievement in and of itself. Because again, only 3 teams have been able to take a singular game off this team, right?
I believe Bruton Parker has given up games before, but not series.
Right, that's what I'm saying. I think they gave up 2
they've
early
not
on.
given up a series all year.
Right, okay. I was just making sure. Like, they gave up 2 early on in this bracket, and then they've only lost 1, and then other than that, it's been pretty much sweeps, right?
It has been. They've had 2 sweeps and then 2 series that went either to 4 or to 5.
All right, so literally, I'm just... ETSU's doing better than everybody else has, so...
Yeah, no, I mean, they deserve to be here, and they showed us all against Florida exactly why they are here. So now I want to make sure that while we have this break, we got 20 seconds left, I want to make sure I look at chat. First of all, we're all here to have a good time, and it's a pleasure to have everybody here for the SEL Grand Finals, and I'm glad you could all make it. Now, granted, I have to make sure that everybody knows that the SEL is absolutely no place to discriminate or to hate, no matter which team you're rooting for in this Grand Final. So please, just like us here on the casting desk, have a good time. Enjoy the Rocket League. It is a 1-1 Grand Finals with a best of 7. Bracket reset still on the line. So sit back, enjoy it, and Taquito, let's head to Driftwoods for game 3. I mean, after a 7-4, this is about as close as you're going to get to home field advantage. And so for ETSU, we'll see how they decide to kick this game off. It will be a dunk towards the middle of the blue half, and it will make Antics awkward, but he's able to stay on for now. He's going to find a flick towards a drift, but a drift stalls him out. Antics, no boost, looking to pinch this ball middle. Landon reads it well, and ETSU looking for a counter. Got to watch out for an incoming Manny who almost finds the second man. He will find the third, and Milk will find a 50 as well. If he can try and get a flick here, we might see something, but instead, we get Bruton Parker with the first true possession of this game. Yep. Yep. I mean, I have very, very few times seen both of these teams truly go into these high-scoring, kind of messy matchups. And especially Bruton Parker and even ETSU, both teams who have varsity precedence. And I know there are coaches on both those sides. Shout out to Coach Jay Shell and shout out to Coach Stanley on the respective schools. They have done an incredible job in the programs they're building, and I would imagine that both of them looked at their players and said, look, a 7-4 just happened. We have got to slow it down. We've got to calm down. And unfortunately for ETSU, they are the victims first, but I believe they still have plenty of time. And so we are going to give Taquito a chance to get his mic working. And as that happens, Landon scores the tying goal. Taquito, are you back?
I think so. I think I'm here. Okay.
Okay, Taquito is back.
I tried to yap, you know what I'm saying? But you carried the broadcast. I'm just... Thank you, Somber. Yeah, me being muted, I'm absolutely spitting. You're so right, dude. Thanks, bud. It is game 3. We're tied up here. And it was a great goal to tie us up, too. Like, I'm extremely happy to see the level of play we're getting out of here for the Bucks right now. And, well, I say that, we see a double commit on offense. Guys, please, I'm trying to compliment you. I'm trying to give you some good words, some positivity. Don't turn it against me.
I know there's a lot of Broom Parker fans in chat who are going to be happy to see this one, but Milk was not in position. Manny now off the ceiling, trying to find his teammate, but Skyline, plenty of boost and plenty of time. That's going to be an awkward touch, though. Manny coming in for the shot, top right. Will be pushed off by the bar itself. Now Antics will get a chance for another possession, but ETSU has done a really good job at closing the gap in the midfield. They have yet to really give Bruton Parker a super easy air dribble or a super easy chance out of their half, and as I say that, Milk beats 2. Manny looking for a dunk. How about a bump? Milk will completely set a smoke screen right in front of the net.
That's unfortunate. Milk had absolute heat-seeking missiles on the defender to eliminate them from the net there. Going up by 1. We're pretty close to the halftime here, but I don't feel like BPC has the edge like the numbers would say moving into this right now with the way we've seen this series unfold.
I mean, who knows what to expect after the very, very rough game 1 and 2 that we saw, and very high scoring at that as well. And now I would hope that this might change, but Bruton Parker, I mean, hey, if they're the ones high scoring and ETSU isn't, they're going to love to see that. But ETSU only down 1. Not a lot of boost on their side of the pitch, though. Now they're going to leave the net wide open, and it's just so messy in front of the net. Not able to find a touch here. Both Skyline and Adrift, miscommunication. It actually looked like a ghost hit off Adrift's hood, but either way, I'm not sure if it would have saved anything.
Yeah, no. Again, I think right now the nerves have gotten to them in this game specifically. I feel like after that big-time win, it's going to be a little tough to kind of rein it back home. That's a good shot. It's just above the crossbar, hits the backboard, wide open net, landed, committing up. Absolute blunder of a mistake right there as BPC go up by 4. Or 3,
yes.
3. I don't know how to count.
Close enough.
Yeah, I gotta go back to school, big dog.
I mean, ETSU has shown they can stick with Bruton Parker, but they have got to realize that every little mistake is something that a team like Bruton Parker, again, top 25, top 32, that's not me glazing, that's just me reading off the stats. That's a team that is going to make you hurt and make you pay for a few misses. Right here, they almost capitalize off of Bruton Parker's miss, but with 2 minutes left, you've got to find more than just one look.
Yeah, you're going to need a lot more than one. You still got plenty of time to rein this one in. One good push builds that momentum up. You don't want to throw away possession like that, though. Skyline, keep it close to the chest. Let your teammates cook around you. This could be an opportunity to take away from Milk, but Milk saved the jump, was able to get the 50 out. Still putting pressure here on ETSU in their own half, where unfortunately I feel like we have lived this entire game 3.
Antics midfield looking for Milk, who won't find a beat. Skyline, a good job meeting him in the middle there, but he's not able to find the bump on the next player. Landon has to get to that ball and will. Now Milk off the sidewall. Antics last man back. Skyline got to try and find his own teammate here, and he will, but no follow-up for ETSU. 60 seconds left, just about. Got to find some more looks. You've got to find some more bumps, and Milk will be bumped, but not until after he'd already hit the ball. Now here comes a counter. Adrift looks middle. Can he find a teammate? He gets past Manny. Landon bumped one as well, but he wasn't there to turn around. Adrift couldn't get there in time. Now Milk with the absolute cookster pinch, but it's not in. Antics trying to make sure the highlight play is saved, but Bruton Parker seemingly having fun, and now it might be a little too much as ETSU finds their second.
All right, if game 1 from last series told me anything about this ETSU squad, it's possible. 47 seconds left on the clock, it's possible.
All right, well, here we go. Just over the 50-second mark. Not a lot of time for ETSU to work with. See if they have anything left in the tank. Skyline try and find this, but that pass was not high enough, and Antics will take that opportunity to take out a player and also find the net for Manny. And ETSU were trying to be slow and methodical, but Bruton Parker having none of it.
Like you said, mistake after mistake. This is a team like BPC is not going to let you get away with it. So you got to tighten up on the defense. You got to do what you can, guys. I know it's going to be a tough game. Game 3 looks hopeless right now. Still a little bit of time to at least get one, build yourself up, get that confidence you need moving into at least the next game, and hopefully the rest of the series.
20 seconds left. ETSU has some time to at least find something positive to finish this game off. Once again, it is a best of 7. It's only going to be 2-1 after we get off of Driftwoods here, and maybe Landon can actually find some positives, but Milk, what a save. And even Adrift has to compliment him in the chat there, which I don't believe that stream can see, but Adrift throwing a compliment Bruton Parker's way. Landon going to try and throw a shot their way, and Manny looking for a psycho, maybe just for some last bit of trolling, and they'll keep this ball up for the time being, but we can go ahead and start talking about the future here. As Bruton Parker, maybe one more goal be out of the tally. It will not, but they win Game 3 convincingly by 3.
2-1 in the series over to BPC. Not that far ahead. Still got a lot of series left. Got a possibility of 4 more games. If ETSU can get back to form and continue at least the even win streak run, then we have possibility of 7. But they cannot let BPC just roll with this momentum. I hope we see them lock it down here in game number 4. I hope we see the sheer offensive prowess they had in that game number 2 come back.
One of the big things that whenever I've casted this Bruton Parker team before, one of the biggest things that I always notice is that their point totals stay high. They always stay on the ball. They always grab possession. And that right there is the absolute bare minimum of what points are in this game. It is possession.
Yeah.
And it's a measure of how much possession they got. If I'm doing averages right now, ETSU's is sitting closer to 200. Bruton Parker's is sitting closer to 500. So we're talking about Bruton Parker potentially finding double the possession the ETSU has. And regardless of whatever you think about either one of these teams, mechanically, mentally, that right there is not a recipe for success. And so ETSU, you're down 1 in the series. You know you can grab a game on this team, but you have got to find the formula that works time in and time out.
Yeah, like the chat said, numbers don't lie. That's the biggest thing about it is they're going to tell the truth every time. And like you said, BPC is just looking at better stats through the series so far. But again, we've seen ETSU put a dent in the armor, so it is absolutely possible these guys can bleed. They are human. So let's see them put it together here in game number 4. Let's see if they can make the best of this series moving forward after a pretty tough loss in game number 3.
Antics finds a reset, looks for the top bar there and almost finds it. Milk will shoot on 3. Falling offensive player. Skyline taps this up. It's going to be a little too high, but his teammate will come in and Landon will dunk it. A great 3-man counter after all 3 members of Bruton Parker dove in.
Well, given the way the play moved, I assume that BPC thought they had something built there, but that little handoff pass right there from Skyline was wonderful. Upfield, knocked it down. Way to start us off here, Bucks.
4 minutes, a very long game still left to be played, and this has been the story of every single game. ETSU has found the early lead 9 times out of 10. They have got to make sure they can not only handle the Bruton Parker offense that they have been dealing with for 3 games now, but also create some opportunities of their own. That possession number, I definitely meant what I said. That is the key metric to look for, especially in this game. You got to watch out for the bumps from Bruton Parker as well, as ETSU staying alive. Bruton Parker looks middle, but now here comes another counter. Landon's got a one-on-one with Milk. He's going to use the reset. He's under, goes above. Manny can't get it. A drift, open net, and ETSU learning on the fly and having a good time as well.
Putting plays together like that in front of the net twice, mind you. Granted, the first one was entirely open. They had the defense completely beat. But that one right there, that's what I'm talking about. We haven't seen something like that from ETSU at all this series so far. So that's what I like to see, like you said, and I like that call, learning on the fly. It's absolutely true to this team right now.
Manny, no boost to go for this play that Antics was trying to get started. Landon a great double tap down the blue half. Milk also was up a little early for that, so he won't be able to find the touch. Skyline dunked by Antics, so ETSU gets another possession. Landon opts for another double tap. The mechanical confidence is something that with ETSU you can almost guarantee. If you ever spent time in person around this team, both them and Bruton Parker, fun teams who like to talk a little bit of trash, and also they get loud too. And I can only imagine the decibel levels of their respective labs throughout this series, and especially during ETSU's run, as they look really good in this game. I would say, and I'm not going to try and cast a curse it, I do believe this is their best game yet because of this right here.
Yes,
the 2v1 is a guarantee. 3-0 with 3 minutes left.
Oh, man. Not what is Chris doing in chat?
not again. That's an inside joke. That's only very few people know about the Curse of Ra in SEL.
Oh no.
I will say this, just for the context of stream here. The last time that the Curse of Ra was spammed in a chat, Bruton Parker almost didn't make the playoffs last school season in the SEL. So that's just something worth noting, as now they're going to need that and a little bit more, as we've seen that no lead is safe in this series, and Manny's going to try and get that storyline back up and running. But for now, ETSU has done a good job of not only staying composed, but now halfway through Game 4, they look like they could take this game and even us up once again.
Right now, like you said, you talked about that key factor, possession, and this game has definitely felt like there's just been a change of pace. The control has swapped completely over to ETSU. They look like they couldn't be making mistakes currently. Landon looking for the touch, couldn't find it early enough. Skyline will hand over possession, forces a drift to be awkward here in the mid. Might find something here though. Skyline's gonna race down the corner. Unfortunately loses it there. Maybe one more. Too far ahead. Net could have been open for a little bit, but no attacker there is not gonna afford ETSU a goal in that moment.
Oh, I don't think there's too much to worry about yet. A drift will die for his actions in the corner there, but there won't be an instant shot. Manny gonna try and find an opportunity. Milk gonna try and bump the drift as well, and will force him off the ball, but not able to force anything more than that. And Antics misreading this one. This is by far the best game we've seen from ETSU, but I also have to look at it from both ways, and I'm very confused at what is happening to Bruton Parker in this game. Scoreless so far.
That's like I think what's shocked me the most is they have been shut out. It's not that they've been shut down; they have been completely shut out.
Oh my gosh.
Unanswered since the end of game number 3, and BPC couldn't buy a goal currently. What is going on?
I'm not sure. I thought that we were through the warm-up games. I thought that we were through the messy part of the SEL series on mainstream, which normally the first few games are always the worst. And somehow, some way, both teams just keep exchanging not just blows, but knockout punches, as we'll see Bruton Parker almost find one there, but Skyline having none of it. This shot is on an open net. And finally, Bruton Parker finds a little bit of hope. And with 40 seconds left, I don't like their odds of coming back here, but who knows?
I'm not going to say it isn't impossible with this BPC squad, but the way ETSU has almost cursed it on kickoff. Almost made a big blunder right there. Milk looking for a touch, can't find it. Adrift's gonna use every bit of boost. Landon did get a touch somehow, was credited with the shot. Here comes another towards the net. Can we find something? No, but we find more pressure. Skyline, you don't want to push too far. That was a good touch. Counting down the seconds here too. They're wasting so much time. That's so smart from the Bucks.
See Bruton Parker just try and find something here. Milking a one-on-one. Will flick it top right, but Adrift pinches it out. And that right there, I think, is the most symbolic thing that this game could end with. As ETSU are not only here to play, they are here to reset the entire bracket and prove to themselves that they are more than what they were seeded. I believe this team was seeded 6th in this playoff bracket. And so to see them turn up, Adrift with 900 points, Taquito.
Almost 1,000, dog. Almost 1,000. That's crazy. Almost dropped a stack on game 4. That's wild.
Mm-hmm. I mean, it's just, look, I wish that y'all could see, you could see the team stats, but the player stats are incredible.
Yes.
Bruton Parker's most aggressive players, Manny and Milk, are not finding any possession. They're finding shots, and you can see it right there. 15 shots. But ETSU not only has forced Bruton Parker into bad shots, but that they played incredible defense. 10 saves. I mean, it's absurd. It is crazy. And this right here is the ETSU that I think that a lot of us expected to see when this roster was announced. These are 3 players who have years and years and years of top-level experience in RLCS and Collegiate Rocket League, and they're really making Bruton Parker work for this one. We are tied through 4 games.
Like I said, keep that even win statistic going, and we will find ourselves in a game 7. We'll find ourselves our first complete series of the night. Well, the only other series that could have been a complete series of the night, if I'm being honest. So it's Again, like I told you, the top of the broadcast when it came to this team, they felt like they had something to prove, and they're doing it. They're absolutely doing it. They ran through the lower bracket, had some amazing wins in the upper bracket. They're finally here. They're at the grand finals, and they're just not going to quit.
Well, you're running out of chances to have mental resets as we're going to enter game number 5 completely even when it is all said and done. And ETSU, definitely the team with the momentum right now, both in chat and real possible if the theme of the night keeps continuing.
Oh, no follow-up there. That's a good touch from Manny off the crossbar. Won't get credited with a save, however. He's keeping the ball in the mid. That waterfall touch is going to be dangerous. Landon gets it out of the way. Skyline needed a touch there. Couldn't get the clear, but a drift. Pushes it downfield. No boost to follow it through, so Manny will collect possession, finds Antics in the mid to push it forward. The attack has started here for the Bucks, and that was a great bump, or at least a mix-up on the defensive line that allows them to take goal number 1.
I'm more confused as to what the ETSU defense did here. Adrift was rotating behind everybody, and he was the closest one to the ball when it was all said and done. Full respect to the Bruton Parker bump, but somebody has got to go.
Yeah, no, you're right. You've got to commit on it. You've got to do something, make a decision, block the ball, force an option. And they didn't do that well enough. Skyline does have a shot, but the post is going to deny it. Oh, the Rocket League gods looking out for BPC in that moment.
Antics looks to try and extend the lead as we are now halfway through Game 5 in ETSU. They've gotten, I think, the majority of the looks, at least the better looks in this game, and they are leading in shot totals as well. It's currently sitting at 5-2. But Bruton Parker rolling with the punches that I think they've done to themselves, but also have watched ETSU with really no sense of any urgency. And it continues right here as Landon is absolutely pitch perfect with it.
I just want to...
Yep, let that
in
one
the
sink.
corner and in. It was, like you said, pitch perfect. It was as close to the top corner as possible. Got blessed with the bounce. Drops right on in. Just barely after halftime, we are all tied up here in game number 5. A massively important game in this series that could decide the tone of the rest of this first grand finals best of 7.
There's 2 minutes left here in what I'm going to argue is going to be the most pivotal moment of this series here in game 5. And so far, Bruton Parker continuing to struggle. Antics not going to be able to find a touch there. And now the counterattack was an option, but that pass telegraphed. We'll see Landon try and get up quickly. This one's now at the backboard. Drift has no boost. Antics with the potential shot. Bottom corner. It's behind Skyline. And Manny will make sure it's above him as well. Every single living side of the net being attacked.
That's just good play. Very good play there from BPC. Constant pressure, constant barrage. It was going to break eventually. They go up by 1, but again, a little under 2 minutes left here for ETSU. I think they're going to be able to find it. I hope they do. Maybe to upset a little bit of the flow here in this series. But for now, they got to focus on it 1 goal at a time, at least tie the series first.
See a demo come through right here on the main POV. Mill gonna try and pinch that one towards Landon. Landon has to be able to avoid the bump, and now he's gonna fall. And now we're gonna see Antics just try and stall some time away. He'll be passed to, and he grabs the corner, and he's got Manny middle, and that duo is starting to link up. It's 2 goals back to back for him.
The chat blowing up every time BPC scores. I'm trying to contain it. I'm trying to contain it, but I'm just laughing.
I'm here for the community love. I am very, very happy to see the amount of people in chat tonight, and I hope that we get to have y'all for a little longer. But Bruton Parker might just absolutely shut it down, but it's off. And ETSU still has some life remaining in the last 60 seconds here, but they've got to find some better looks. Bruton Parker playing ping pong with themselves back and forth on both sides of the field here, and Manny gets this one for free. Off the corner, looks for a teammate adrift, gonna have to backflip and let Landon go, and Skyline, no boost, has got to throw it away once again. Here comes another Bruton Parker counter. Manny looks for a dagger here in game 5, won't be able to bump Landon, and ETSU still fighting.
They've collected every bit of the boost. They've controlled the pace of this offense and even the defense currently in this final minute. Skyline gets a chance to clear, but Milk is just going to decide not to do anything about it other than stop them from moving forward. Looking for another Antics cutting it off in the mid. something BPC does when they do gain control of the pace of the series. They just shut every single opportunity down, and it just becomes a lockdown offense against their opponent. And they play it out so well. Final 10 seconds. Unless ETSU scores right now, no way.
I mean, it's impossible. We already kind of knew that. Skyline might be able to find one. He does bump Antics, but he is denied. Taquito, that right there, I think, was the most normal game that we have seen all night. We did not see any crazy pinches. We didn't see some outlandish bumps. You want to know something really interesting, Taquito? Milk had 86 points. 86.
All zeros.
Did not have to go for the ball once, because you want to know why? It's because Antics and Vanny were having an absolute blast with 6 shots, and they shot 3 for 6 on them. So Bruton Parker have not only found a system that looked normal, and felt consistent, but Milk didn't even have to touch the ball. They 2v3 for most of that.
Oh my gosh, no.
Here come the curses. Y'all better start spamming now.
Oh no, they're trying. The chat wants it. They want game 7, man. They want the content.
I'm here for it too.
Oh,
why not?
No. All right, hold on.
Let's see game 7. It's a bracket reset night. I would love to see a potential bracket reset. I believe it would be the first in SEL's history, I believe. And Beppe can quote me on that, but I want to say that it would be. But there's only one way to find out. Neo Tokyo. Bruton Parker is up 3-2 to win their first major SEL championship right here in the fall of 2024. All 6 players have loaded in. Taquito, let's hop right into it.
Listen, man, I'm just happy to be right about the fact that I said 6, all right? I was right. I at least have this series count correct. I don't know if it's going to be wrong at the end of the day, but for now, we made it to Neo Tokyo. We have finally seen Glorious Bob Robin and the Drift getting the blessings here in game number 6.
Let the curses fly and let the chaos ensue. A Drift bottom left, way too easy for him. 13 seconds in, and Taquito, this is looking to be a good one.
It's looking real good, and everybody screaming in the chat, no, Adrift. The boost over ball meta is not what you want to go for in that moment, as you get lucky enough to have a teammate help you in that moment. Adrift going for the shot. It's going to be off the crossbar. Milk has no defensive deflection, and that's going to be 2 to the side of ETSU in 29 seconds.
I'm not one to believe in magic, but I'm starting to feel like it might just be potentially, it might just be the best, it might just be the whole thing. This might be SEL. This Curse of Rob might just control the entire fate of the SEL. And maybe after this is said and done, we'll have to show you all the script as well. But I definitely did not write this part of it, as Skyline almost finds the redirect. Milk had an open net. He wasn't able to find it. Again, Manny misses as well. Antics, the third man, has to be the one to play. He's got one high. He's looking for more. Looks for something. But ETSU, in the craziest first minute of this entire series, stays alive.
Oh my God. Okay, look. We've talked about luck a couple of times in this stream. Okay, there it is. The luck goes away. I was about to say, ETSU has gotten lucky on 2 separate occasions here. And Bruton Parker finally takes the lucky streak away. Antics in the bottom corner at least puts the first one on the board. They're still up by 1, so ETSU feeling at least a little bit of the momentum still, but they've got to hold on to it here for a very long time, as we just only got through the first minute of game 6.
Antics looking to try and beat the last 2 ETSU defenders, but they're doubled up. They're stacked on top of each other. Looking at the wrong cards or whatever magical spell they had working before. It's not now, as that is just critical from Landon.
Oh my gosh, Shaka.
Hey, let the chat go off. Let the chat go off.
Yeah, they're trying, man. Look, hey, I know in these moments it's going to be crucial, and I've absolutely wanted to count on ETSU's ability to lock it down. They've done it well enough here. They started off the game early. They have forced BPC to play at a higher level than they have been all season long. And if you can't congratulate them for that, then I don't know what you can for, because they have been playing lights out this entire evening.
Well, I know there's plenty of people in chat who want to congratulate them for a potential bracket reset, and Landon will keep those dreams alive as ETSU does not want their season to end just yet. Still tied here in Game 6, a must-win for the boys in orange and for the Buccaneers, who are trying to sail it down right here down the main street of Bruden Parker's defense. It almost did open up a chance, but now all three members of Bruden Parker syncing up for a counter. Manny looking back for Milk, but he's blocked by a drift. Manny looking to beat one. He is bumped off the ball, though. Now Antics looking for his teammate, but Milk was not committed, not ready to go up there, and a smart play on his behalf. But this right here is going to be actually passed out by Antics. He was looking for Manny. Will find him. Now Manny looks for a teammate middle. Milk is over there, but he has no boost. ETSU trying to survive. Milk looks for one more, takes a player out, and Skyline finally gives the team a little bit of breathing room.
I don't know how much breathing room that you expected it to be, but they haven't been able to get out of their own half. Finally, a drift. Nice carry here, flip, reset, can't use it though. Skyline throws a pot shot towards the net, tests the defense, isn't able to find anything good out of it. So the ball will float back over into the mid. They vie for that control over and over again right now. ETSU with the positive on it. Can they get a goal here? Or are they going to leave themselves one man down? Landon is able to block it away, but it's still nervy right now for the side of ETSU.
2 minutes left. We've talked about ETSU's tenure as a program and tenure as a roster, both together and individually, and this right here could be the crowning moment of their entire season, but they have got to find a save, and Skyline not concerned, not worried. Here comes the orange boys. Here comes the counter. Top left is the route that was picked, but it won't be the one that works. Now a drift looks for a teammate, but it's going to be smart. Landon didn't want to commit too aggressively, and Milk, very opposite, will be aggressive. Manny now calling Antics off, but no double. Antics looks middle. Milk is by himself. Under 90 seconds to go here, and ETSU starting to find some looks.
They absolutely are, but the counterattack is going to have to be more fruitful than it is. All the efforts of your labor have not been shown just yet, ETSU. You've been able to thwart the offense time and time again, but you've got to make a positive effort on the other side. You get these looks, you've got to be able to turn them in right now. BPC is threatening you left and right. A drift opportunity, tries to put it low. 2 have been demoed. It's only 1 left. Finally, we've got some other members on the pitch. That dunk looked good, but not enough boost to follow it through. ETSU still stay alive through all that.
Skyline is beat. Antics is trying to end this one. Manny's going to try to do the same. Looking high. Is there a teammate there to follow? An orange car will have to meet it. 2 of them will go. And now Antics looks backward once again. Landon will bang it out to a teammate. Skyline is in the area. He's going to look for a shot or a 50 here. He won't find it. It's going to fall all the way back to Landon. A drift will call him off. 30 seconds left. Manny was bumped, I believe, but stays on that ball. And a drift grabs that corner. Will look for more. Milk down the pitch. He'll have to throw it. And here comes ETSU. They've got a good look. Antics is by himself. Has to go to the back corner. Has to look for a pinch downfield. That is crucial. 10 seconds left. Landon trying to stall out. Antics looking middle. Manny, here comes Milk. Potential lead. No, it's a drift. A drift comes in to save. Antics is up next. He has shot. Skyline to win the game. Can he tap it backward? Milk will deny him. Manny will not keep it up, and we're going to OT.
Somehow, we have found the first overtime all night long here in Grand Finals. The potential first best of 7 that we could play. Milk does it though! What a bump on the defensive line! And somehow, BPC have upset the run that ETSU was on. What just happened?
8 seconds in, and it is over. Bruden Parker are your fall 2024 Southeastern Esports League champions. And my Lord Taquito, what a fight and a brawl it was. My Lord. They've done it. The boys at BPC have done it. They have made it work. They have made it happen. And there was a definite time in that series, and you can see it right here. I was definitely worried at one point. 5-4, 4-7, 5-2. That might be the craziest 3-game start to a series we have ever seen on a grand final. And then for the rest of it, it was about as expected, more normal gameplay. And unfortunately for ETSU, they just didn't have 2 more in them.
No, I don't think they didn't have 2 more in them, and I think that was the absolute opportunity of a lifetime, and they unfortunately it was nervous. You could see it on the back line. They were bunched up together. 2 of them were sitting right next to each other as Antics swept through that back line. Heartbreaking. Heartbreaking, man. I thought they were going to do it. I thought we had game number 7 right there, dude.
I mean, hey, it was so close. It was very, very much something that could have happened. And unfortunately, we don't get to see it. But let's just throw a bracket production. We need a moment before you throw the camera on us. Let's just take a quick look at what in the world happened in these SEL playoffs. We lived in a world where SEL almost lost all of its high seeds and uppers. Bruton Parker
Yes.
barely survived versus UTC. And then obviously we lost FIU and UTK extremely quick.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm just so happy that ETSU found a route into some very critical points. And it isn't a mathematical guarantee, but this right here makes their chances at land, I would say 85, 90%.
Oh, dude. I mean, like you said, if we're looking at it, ETSU beat George Mason, who upset UTK. ETSU then beat UNC Charlotte, who sent them down to the lowers to begin with. Then they beat Florida, who upset George Mason. And you kind of bounce around all the upsets right here. ETSU's run through this, insane. One of probably is this probably the hardest bracket that they could have put themselves through?
I mean, it's definitely, I would say, the hardest bracket in SEL's history based on skill alone. I will definitely
Yeah.
say that. And somehow ETSU, luckily, they didn't get that upper side of losers where they would have had to play UTK or UNCC. But it didn't matter because they have definitely proved to everybody that they are the second best team in all of SCL.
Yeah. 100%. No questions.
But of
Proved a
course, you
lot.
can't say that without talking about Bruton Parker. This is dominance all the way through. Even though that USC series was almost the end and put them in losers, they still showed up when they needed to. And even though that grand finals was a full series, yes, I'm going to say full series, even though we didn't get 7, because it felt like an absolute, really just the best content that we ever could have asked for. And
Oh,
so
for sure.
Bruton Parker, I know them and ETSU had a lot of games and stuff that they were doing before SCL. I mean, ETSU, we watched them destroy Florida. And so both teams
Yes.
were able to put it all away and were able to come back and lock in for what was truly a blessing of a series to get here on mainstream.
100%. And again, like I said, they were trying to prove something, and I think they proved to everybody that all the yapping that they do absolutely can be backed up. You know what I'm saying? We mentioned it before the stream even started. Landon being the biggest yapper of them all. I mean, he backed every bit of it up, right?
I mean, hey, he is a trash talker. This league has had many trash talkers in its history, and he did. ETSU looked good. The entire
Yes.
desk, the entire podcast last night, we all had predictions that were not in ETSU's favor. Taquito, you were the only person to even say in 6. And
Exactly.
so even though you didn't go ETSU, you did still get that right. So full credit to you. But yeah, I mean, ETSU gave it all they got, but it would have taken more than some of the miracles that we saw in the first few games for them to end up winning this one. So Taquito, I'm going to let you say a few things and then we'll close out for the night.
I don't really have a lot of things to say, man. It was just I'm sad that Dronis couldn't be here for it. I hope Dronis has figured out the internet issue in the building, but I appreciate the event happening and getting to be here to witness it from this side of the stream instead of being in the chat. So I got to see it firsthand, and it was an insane content filled night. I couldn't ask for more.
Yeah. I mean, I'm glad that you got to come on for a few weeks. I know that I sat right here in this exact chair, in this exact spot on broadcast for the entire season, and I have seen some crazy things happen in
Yep.
this league. And I have just been very happy to get to be the one to kind of direct the show, per se. But we are going to have Bepic back. And so, Taquito, I hope that we get to see you next semester. I hope we get to see Dronis as well. Maybe we have like some makeshift B stream or something like that. Who knows?
Hey.
But hey, we might talk business. But Bruton Parker, that they've already done all the talking. They've already closed the deal. They are your SEL Fall 2024 champions. So massive
Yes,
credit to the Barons, but also credit to the Buccaneers as well. They did a incredible job. And I am just, again, so incredibly thankful for every single one of you who've tuned in every Wednesday night at 7 and 8 p.m. CST, 8 and 9 p.m. CST. That will never, ever change. And even though the season does end, we will be right back stronger than ever and more excited than ever for the spring. And before I let you go, I must leave you with a teaser that there is a lot more teams getting involved in the spring. So the skill level is only going to get higher. The stakes will be higher, but you're not going to know any of that just yet. We will have to save that surprise all the way for the spring. But for the fall, it's been Taquito. It's been DJ TJ. I've loved being your host. I can't wait to do it come January and February. Have a great night.